So, you just brought home a shiny new electric vehicle. Awesome. You're probably thinking the biggest upgrade is already sitting right there in your driveway. But what if I told you the most crucial upgrade for your EV isn't for the car at all? Yeah, really. Okay, let's get into it.
Hey, welcome to the club. You've officially joined the electric revolution, and you're all set for that silent, smooth, gas-free life. But then you pull into your garage after that amazing first drive, and a new reality kind of sinks in, right? The big question? How do you get this thing ready for tomorrow?
You know, the car gets all the hype, all the attention, but there's this one piece of the puzzle that really unlocks the true convenience of owning an EV. It's the secret to waking up every single morning with what's basically a full tank.
Yep, you guessed it. It's actually for your home. The single best investment you can make after buying an electric car is upgrading your home charging setup. This is the thing that takes your EV from being a cool new toy to being a totally seamless part of your everyday life.
All right, so why can't you just plug your car into any old wall outlet and call it a day? I mean, you can, but it's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a tiny little garden hose. It's a trickle. Trust me, I tried it with my first EV. It's painfully slow. Let me just show you the difference.
Okay, look at this. The difference here is just massive. A standard outlet, that's what we call level 1 charging, it gets you maybe 5 to 8 kilometers of range per hour. Per hour. So charging all night long might not even cover your drive to work the next day. But a dedicated level 2 charger? Wow, that's a torrent of power. We're talking 30 to 70 kilometers of range added every single hour. That's the difference between waking up stressed about your battery and waking up ready for anything.
Okay, so you're sold. You need a faster charge. But which one is right for you? There are a few different options out there, but honestly, for most homeowners, there's a clear sweet spot.
This chart lays it all out perfectly. On one end, you've got level 1. That's your basic 120-volt wall plug. It's fine for a backup, I guess, but definitely not for daily driving. Then you've got the Tesla wall connector, which is super fast, but it's really just for Tesla owners. But right there in the middle, that's the level 2 charger. It runs on 240 volts, like your clothes dryer, and it is the absolute sweet spot for pretty much every EV driver out there. It's the perfect combo of speed, cost, and convenience.
And here it is, the big question, right? What's this all gonna cost? I mean, upgrading always sounds expensive. The good news is, it's usually pretty straightforward, and the price really comes down to one main thing: how far your parking spot is from your main electrical panel.
Okay, let's start with the most common situation. Your electrical panel is in your attached garage, pretty close to where you park your car. This is what's called a standard installation. For this, you're probably looking at somewhere between $500 and $800. And that price usually covers mounting the charger, running a new dedicated circuit just for the car, and getting the permit sorted.
Now, what if your panel is in the basement and you park in a detached garage way out back? Well, that's called an extended run. The price goes up a bit, usually into the $800 to $1,500 range. And that's simply because it takes more materials and more time to run all that wiring safely across your property.
And then there's the big job. A lot of older homes have these 100-amp electrical panels, which just aren't big enough to handle the extra power an EV charger needs. So in that case, you have to upgrade the whole panel to 200 amps. Now, this is a bigger investment for sure. We're talking $1,800 to $3,500, but on the bright side, you're basically modernizing your entire home's electrical system for whatever comes next.
But here's the bottom line on cost, and this is super important no matter which of these situations you're in. Always get a detailed, itemized quote before anyone starts working. A real pro won't surprise you with hidden fees. The price they quote you should be the final price you pay. End of story.
So, getting one of these installed, it might sound like a huge, complicated project. But when you go with a professional, it's actually a really smooth, straightforward process. Let's just walk through the 4 basic steps. First up, they'll do a quick assessment and consultation. Sometimes they can even do it right over the phone. Step 2, you get that detailed quote we just talked about. Once you give the thumbs up, they move to step 3. They handle all the permits and do the professional installation. And you know what? A standard job usually only takes about half a day. You could literally leave for work in the morning and be charging at full speed by the evening. Finally, step 4. They test everything with your car and give you a quick walkthrough.
Let's just pause on permits for a second because this part is absolutely non-negotiable. An electrical permit isn't just a suggestion. It's required by the electrical code and, listen to this, by your home insurance company. It's an official check to make sure your panel can handle the new load and that everything is safe. A pro takes care of the whole process for you, guaranteeing a safe, legal setup.
All right,
We've arrived at what I think is the most critical warning in this entire explainer. When you see those installation costs, it is so tempting to think, you know what, I could probably do that myself and save some money. Please, just don't do it. The risks are absolutely not worth it.
And look, I get the temptation. You do a quick search online, watch a couple of videos, and it looks pretty easy, right? But we are not talking about changing a light fixture here. We're talking about a high-power, 240-volt circuit that's going to be pulling a ton of electricity for hours and hours every single day.
Okay, risk number 1 is the big one: fire and safety hazards. If you use the wrong size wire or the wrong kind of breaker, that connection can overheat and create a massive fire risk. Not only that, but you could cause some really catastrophic damage to your car's onboard charging system. And trust me, that is not a cheap fix. Risk number 2, you could void your home insurance. Let's just imagine the worst happens. If there's an electrical fire and the investigation traces it back to unpermitted DIY work, your insurance company has every right to just walk away and deny the claim. That would leave you on the hook for every penny of the damage.
And it doesn't even stop there. Risk number 3, you can damage your vehicle's warranty. A lot of EV makers, and yeah, that includes Tesla, are very clear in their warranties. If any damage is caused by an improperly installed charger, that warranty is gone. Poof. So professional installation is basically required to protect your new car.
And this really just says it all, doesn't it? This is the other side of that coin. When you hire a certified professional, you're not just paying for someone to run some wires. You're paying for their expertise. You're paying for safety. You are paying for peace of mind, knowing the job was done right by someone who actually knows the code.
So at the end of the day, as you're out there enjoying that amazing new electric car, the real question is this: is your home truly ready for the future of driving? Because getting a level 2 charger isn't just another upgrade. It's the final crucial step to unlocking all the convenience, all the freedom, the whole reason you bought an EV in the first place.